Hello, everybody. Good evening. Thanks for waiting here with us. Welcome to the Beat Drop. My name is Booth. I'm going to be filling in for Mr. Yeti this week. I am joined with Capital. Capital, thank you so much for helping out this week, and welcome to the Beat Drop. I know last season I interviewed you, so now it's your turn to interview some of our Tranquility members.
Yeah, of course, just doing my due deeds as a part of the member of the community. Ready to have some fun here.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. For anybody new here, the Beat Drop is a weekly show we do Thursday nights after our Discord featured tier matches, and it is just a way for us to kind of get to know some of the members in Tranquility a little more than just seeing their names on some roster sheets and getting to interview them a little bit about their experience, not only with Tranquility and Overwatch, but maybe a little bit of some outside hobbies they have as well. Before we get into that, just going to break down a couple of things we noticed here in this last week. Cap, I know there's a topic here you wanted to talk about involving a specific team.
Yeah, so ORMA pool, Discord tier. Biggest things that I was noticing is just like this three-way thing going on between Domination, Valkyrie, and Renegades. Valkyrie took dubs over both of them in the previous 3 weeks. Renegades losing 3-2, but taking care of business against the other two teams. In week 5, so not this coming week, but the week after that, they have a showdown, and if everything goes as planned, then Renegades versus Domination will have like a little like week 5 showdown to see who gets it in day pool. So that's a really I think they're sneaky good. So that's like one team I'd say look out for.
Yeah, we're to that point now where like these last 2 weeks, I mean, obviously we're going to decide who's going to go where they go for stage 2. And to people that are new to the tournament, if you want to look specifics at how the tiers kind of work, you can go to, I believe, under the Overwatch tab in Discord server. There's rules that kind of looks into how the stage formats works. I know we're a little different than some other tournaments that are out there, but it's a really cool feature. I really enjoy it. It gives teams, a bit more of a chance going in to get reseeded before going into the playoffs. So, and speaking of that, the two main things I wanted to talk about, it's two teams also here in the Harmony tier. The Harmony tier has been fun to follow this season. But Strix, 12-0. Haven't dropped a map so far during the regular season. And they've been like a good team in the past couple of seasons, but they've never been dominant to this level. So that's been really cool to watch them. And then something I remember actually in one of our, I think it was our admin chat, we were like, dogging on somebody that was cheating, and we were just figuring it out. And then all of a sudden, Yeti in all messages puts, oh my god, Squall is 2-1. Squall is 2-1. Kind of just dunking on Crispy a little bit in there. But yeah, that's been a really cool thing to see them doing well. Combined between their DPS line, so they have Kaz and Kaden, they have 3.5 eyes at some days, most of the time 3 eyes. Kaz only has 1 eye. That's really working so well on their DPS line and played hit scan for him. So pretty insane to see how well they've been able to do with all of that. I hope it continues here with Squall going in. It's a lot of good people over there. But then, yeah, that's a couple of things we noticed this week, but we're not going to make you guys wait too much longer here. We're going to get ready for our first interviews, and we're going to have Capital interviewing Cyme here, who is a newer player, and I'm going to let them introduce them as they get into this first interview.
Yeah, thanks, Booth. So, Cyme, how's it going, bud? Tell me a little about yourself. How'd you find Shrank? That's one thing I'd like to know about you, at least.
It's a good question. I'm pretty sure I found it through joining a Trank team last season, like during the off season. It didn't really work out, but I think that's how I joined the server originally, was last season.
What Trank team did you join in the off season? What team were you looking at?
It's a little bit taboo around these parts, but I believe it was Vanguard.
Vanguard. We enjoy Vanguard. I think they're a fun team. But the biggest thing, yeah, I mean, is this like Overwatch like a newer game for you at least? Or do you play a lot of FPS?
Yeah, I've played a lot of FPS, a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. I played a lot of that competitively, like for a long time. That's like what my Twitter and stuff's all about. Just made a lot of really good friends there. Played CS:GO for a while. So yeah, I'd say Overwatch is pretty new to me.
How long have you been playing Overwatch for then? Like a few seasons, like a year? Like if you're like that.
I played my first game of Overwatch probably like 10 months ago, and then I actually started playing Overwatch probably like 8 months ago, and I would just play it in between like scrims that I would play for teams for Rainbow Six Siege.
So I assume you're just PC through and through then, no console, no nothing like that, just going straight into it, or?
I used to play console. just like the Black Ops 4. Nothing really competitive or anything like that.
Okay, so that makes sense. So big Rainbow Six Siege guy. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the game, but I did have him play a lot of it. So
All right. Well, the biggest thing that I was gonna say was how training season going so far this season. Galactic Penguins, you guys have been looking great so far. The biggest thing, congratulations on the season so far. You guys are 2-1, I think, and it was a really, really close loss to Jersey Boys. You have 2 matches coming up. Are you excited? Any secret strats? Anything you're preparing for these 2 teams? Any insider knowledge you want to share on Galactic Penguins?
Not really. Just gonna stick to the basics of 1v1 and gap before the game, and LCS Orisa Diva through and through. I don't know. That's what works.
LCS, another character in the community, with Gap, both of them big personalities. So the biggest, one thing I learned about you, at least recently, through asking some sources around you, is you like to explore along with FPSing. You like to explore abandoned buildings. Is that true?
Yeah. I do a little bit of exploring abandoned buildings here and there. An airport, the mall or two, some friends. Yeah.
That's pretty fun. Was there like a reason you like doing it? Like, it's just like adventure?
Not really. I mean, it's just like cool to be places that people that hasn't like been in service for a while.
Yeah, that makes sense. The abandoned buildings are pretty dope. Like, just like being able to explore like what hasn't been around or touched in a while. So that's like one big thing. That's really cool. Well, back to the Trank stuff. Honestly, for Galactic Penguins, like how is like let's bring it to like Chobi. I know a good amount about Chobi at least. And how was DPSing with Chobi?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like during the preseason, I'm gonna be straight honest with you. Chobi is like really difficult to play with on DPS, just because Chobi's like a tank player and he's like never played DPS before. But it's like these past 3 weeks, he's actually gotten a lot better, and I'm like really, really happy to see the improvement, especially on his May gameplay, his Soldier, his Junkrat. I definitely think it definitely could have gone worse. He may be our, SR tank, but he does his job. So
yeah, I mean,
that's all I can ask.
That's an important thing. The biggest thing is just like with Galactic Penguins, like how did it really come together? Like, where did you like? How did trials go? How did you get onto this team, into this like community at least? Like,
so from what I've heard, speculation, they did like an open tryout thing where it was like 6v6 tryouts. I wasn't there. They needed a hit scan DPS, so I tried out. At that time, Chobi wasn't on the team, but it was the original 5. Right now, obviously, we've added Yuno in the past week, right? And we had a sub for the first week, but basically, I just tried out when the team was basically full. I was pretty much one of the last ones to join besides Chobi, and Chobi was still a GM at that point. But I just, I don't know. I played one Hollywood match, played some Widowmaker, and got the job done. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the new thing is like a lot of new blood is here this season, so it's really hard to like look at what communities are really coming together into Trank. And I think Galactic Penguins and like that the friend group around Chobi is really like fleshing itself out as a big part of the community, and hopefully you're here to stay for long as well. Is there anything else you'd like to share about like your time in Trank so far? Has it been
it's been good. I'm looking forward to the event week, obviously.
gonna be the Widow 1v1?
Widow main, staying true. I will be playing the.
You will? Ooh, that's exciting. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I think that's basically it. I can probably just throw it to Booth here. But I mean, thank you so much, Cyme. Cyme, or did you go by Widowman? Which is better? Oh, I think we did. But yeah, So thank you, Cyme, even though I don't think you're here anymore. Like I said, to Booth with an interview with BubbaWyatt, a curseless tank player.
Thank you, Capital. Also, my transitions aren't the cleanest on everyone, so you might see a second or two where it says my name in it instead of somebody else's. But yes, looks like we lost Cyme there right at the end, unfortunately. But we again thank them quite a bit for joining us. We're now going to be bringing on BubbaWyatt. Bubba, welcome to the Beat Drop. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been we've been looking forward to getting to talk with you. You've been around Tranquility here for a bit, so a quick intro for those. You're currently a tank on Chrysalis. So kind of walk through how'd you end up with the Chrysalis org?
First, started out after Sky Guardians. We had a bit of a falling out with the management, most of the team, so that's why Sky Guardians did not come back. But especially with Milo and O moving on to Valorant and streaming and just whatever. So I ended up trialing for a few teams, ended up with Strix. Jimbo and I just it was sad because I really wanted to play with them, but Jimbo and I just straight up weren't connecting as well as we would have liked. So I decided to trial DM Storm. I was like, hey, you guys still need an off tank or main tank? And he said, yeah, I still need a main tank. So I trialed for them. It worked out pretty well. So that's how we got here.
Yeah, so the teams had like a little bit of a rough start to say the least so far, but I mean, you guys are what I'm calling the group of death in almost all of Tranquility history. You have so many teams that are not even just considered like high level teams, but contender level teams. So you have maybe an easier, I think is a fair way of saying second half of stage one coming through here for the team. What's kind of some of how are you guys looking at the rest of the stage?
I'm trying to look positively. These next two teams, well, I don't consider any team to be like really bad, like because when we played Squall last season, we might have 4-0'd them, but they put up a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
And like, so no team is really bad, even no matter that map record. Like we got 4-0'd by Chrysalis this week, but there was not a match where that didn't go like 99-99.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a very close game. So I'm trying to get as excited as I can. We picked up Sergeant Pepper, so that was really big, we feel, and we think that once we get a little bit more synergy, then we'll be fine. We'll be completely fine. This group is kind of like how ORMA was last season, where you had the three big teams and then you had the three others. We're kind of how Strix was that season.
Yeah.
So we are assuming that we're ending up in B, which I'm fine with. If we can get a top seed in A or a top seed in B, it's better than getting a low seed in A.
Yeah, honestly, it is. So, all right, let's talk about your kind of history with the game a little bit. So, what kind of brought you to Overwatch in general?
I was playing with a friend group on console since I think I want to say year 2. I wasn't really playing as competitively.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing with Shady B
Yeah.
and a few of our friends. So once I moved over to PC, I saw he was playing in Tranquility, and so I initially tried to join in season 5, but I was too level. And so I retrialed in season 6 for Ultraviolet, which for the same team, and I've just been moving on since then.
Yeah. So, have you had any other experience with other FPS games, or is Overwatch your first one?
Definitely Overwatch being my first one. I've thought about going to like Rainbow Six because for some reason my aim in that game is a lot better than it is in Overwatch.
Yeah.
And I've played that game since as well that game's first year. So
wow, you played first year, so you played pre the huge changes then.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't remember as much from each game because Rainbow Six I just straight up wasn't good at originally because I was on console and I gave up for a few years and then came back to it.
I remember I got a free copy of Rainbow Six with my like HyperCloud X2 headphones that everyone has back in probably 2016 or 2017. And I tried it out before they, did the rework, and that was an interesting game. I now just play when I get to play with my friends. Actually, my friends who are really good at it, who are diamond, were main tanks in Overwatch because they couldn't aim in the game. But hit diamond in R6, so that tells you a little bit of a different aiming thing. I just go sledge. My goal every game is to break my hammer by using it too much. Hasn't happened yet, but I'm hoping that'll come around here soon. So yeah, you've had some experience here in Tranquility, obviously. And it seems like this is your first type of community-driven like esports playing on a team like this. So what's one thing that's happened that you really didn't expect to happen in like a scenario like this, like playing on a team?
Honestly, the keeping the friendships. Like, I'm not in touch with most of the members of Ultraviolet still, but all the members of Sky Guardians I still keep in touch with. My GM from Ultraviolet, friends with all the Strix people. There's
Mm-hmm.
especially this community has a lot of people you can really connect with, like be really good friends with, and it's just like it's a great way to. I think it's a great like starter place. Like even we have our drama, we have the craziness of harmony discussion,
Oh God,
especially in A. I don't know about you,
I'm not
Ian,
even
yet.
brave enough to go in there half the time, and I'm supposed to moderate it.
Just don't.
No, stay
Just
away.
let. Yeah, I think we've given Yeti a few heart attacks,
More than a few.
more than a few.
So, okay, let's shift gears here a little bit. I'm sure you saw a lot of the announcements about the beta for Overwatch 2 today. Were you able to get your hands on it, or get able to submit through to get your account added, or
Oh, I did that instantly because
instantly?
I'm ready, especially as like a flex tank.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm super excited for it. Like I'm initially like not obviously I'm not sure how it's gonna work out, just
Mhm.
as unsure as everybody is, but knowing that I have like experience on the off tank and competitive, and now experience on the main tank, I think it'll be a lot better for me.
Yeah, that's going to be a really cool experience. See, I've always been off tank, so I'm kind of worried myself, but having a flex tank experience like that, hopefully because so what's one concern you have for some of the tank heroes that you're at least more fond of playing? Is there one you're really scared about how it's going to change, or is there and maybe one that you're not too worried about?
I'm kind of scared how the Diva Zarya matchup is gonna work out.
Yeah.
Like if those two become meta against each other, like Diva's gonna have her 4-second cooldown, but Zarya's gonna be able to get Zarya's gonna be the only tank there, so she's just gonna be able to burn down uh that Diva, I feel like, a lot faster. Uh I'm happy for that Diva change. Also Reinhardt having 2 fire strikes,
Yeah.
especially that's gonna increases like way of getting ult charge a lot faster, and it'll lead to more shatters, which I'd like.
Yeah. I see a question in chat here coming from Yoshi asking, what character do you believe or hope will become meta in Overwatch 2?
I don't know actually, because the two heroes I play the most are Ryan and Diva, and they seem to be
Yeah,
they
pretty
pretty
good.
much haven't left the meta for a while now.
God, the longest time. I feel like I was even playing Rhine Diva back in like that season 3 of Overwatch,
Hmm.
of Tranquility. That was like, and everyone called us crazy because that's when you're supposed to run the Rhine Zarya, but we stuck with it. All right, let's shift gears here a little bit more. So you told me a little bit that you're a runner, that you do cross country and track. How did
Yes.
you end up falling into this?
Uh, my parents are pretty into running. My dad did it in high school. He had tendonitis in his knee though, so he
Hmm.
can't do it as well. And my first memory of running was we did this 4th of July 5K, and I got just tired of walking with my mom, who was pushing my sister in a stroller in the last like 200. So I full sprinted the rest of the way, and I just have been doing it ever since. Just been pushed in cross country as much as I can be.
All right, I'm gonna run a couple of quick running terms by you. I did track for a year, but I was like shot disc because
Hmm.
I had baseball and track at the same time. I actually
Yeah,
don't know how on earth they let me do both. That was kind of crazy. But
that
my
is actually
sister,
crazy.
it was yeah, that was a fun year. I school really wasn't a thing. I just all I was focused on because I even my baseball was 45 minutes away, so I'd have practice and drive 45 minutes to baseball and then go back. I was in really good shape, and that was a long time ago though. Okay, so I wanted to run a couple of quick things by you. I just want your initial reaction to these kind of running things because I do remember a little bit. And I remember there was a little bit of controversy, at least in my house. My sister was a very big cross country runner too and had very strong opinions on these. So, okay,
Okay.
running with headphones in.
Depends on what it is. I like a lot of people running AirPods. I prefer the Raycon earbuds. They
Okay.
have a little, at least the E55s, I believe they are, because they have a little
Mhm.
thing that sticks into your ear. AirPods are
Okay.
very uncomfortable.
Treadmills.
I prefer running grass. Treadmills
Gotcha.
are only good if it's thundering outside.
And that kind of might answer with the second one, running on pavement.
Prefer running on grass, but I'll do it if I mean my school has just basically pavement. Most of our trails are just pavement, so I've gotten used to it.
All right, then the final one. This was my least favorite: relay races.
Luckily I only do distance,
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
I got to run the 4x4 my freshman year. Made sure that I've been avoiding it ever since. I got injured my sophomore track season, and I've just been avoiding it this season.
I don't blame you whatsoever. I hated whenever my name got called on those events because this is terrifies people. I had 3 boys in my 8th grade class back when I did track. So even though I was a shot and disc guy, that also meant I was on the 4x1 because we had to branch between our different classes, and yeah, I hated those. But I didn't hate talking with you, Bubba. It was really great to get to sit down and talk here with you. Thank you so much for the interview. Do you have any closing words or remarks you'd like to say?
I know I make a joke about it, about me being the next Chobi, because I kind of have followed in his footsteps a bit. But God, I hope I don't get his ego.
Okay, I think everybody hopes we don't get another Chogi out there. But thank you so much, Bubba, for talking with us here. We hope the best for you. And now I'm gonna get ourselves prepped here before we go into our next interview. Give me just a second to get our screen ready. But we are gonna have Capital interviewing. Let's see, we're gonna have Capital interviewing Gusty here. So let me get them added before we go in. One more second. All right. And Capital and Gusty, welcome.
Capital, you're still muted.
Of course I am. Of course I am. Nothing ever goes as planned. As I say, Booth, thanks for throwing it back. But Gusty, how you feeling? How's today been? How's the day?
It's going well. It's going well. I mean, both my teams in domination won yesterday, and I've been kind of like chilling, messing with Photoshop today, kind of.
I mean, never can go wrong with 2 dubs. I mean, take it from me.
Yeah.
You won two championships last season. Yeah, personally won them for sure. But how's domination doing? How's that coaching? How's coaching going for you?
It's fun, honestly. It's a new take. It's definitely a new perspective on like competition. I wanted to try it last season. I kind of dabbled it, but not in Tranquility. It was in a different league. But I was more of an assistant coach. But Brent has been helping me a lot with like getting used to the role, since it is very new to me. But I think I'm like starting to like getting used to it more. So I'm excited to see how much more I could do.
Yeah, I mean, I love coaching. I hope more people coach, because that's, everybody needs more coaches.
It's a fun new experience.
Yeah,
I definitely recommend it for people.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is it really helps you learn the game, like to that level where you can improve more, like in your own individual play as well. So that's something I really enjoy. Go back to like kind of what I mentioned earlier on in the thing.
Yeah.
Renegades. How you feel about Renegades? I know you're supposed to play in week 5.
Yeah.
You got any special plans for that yet, or it's too early?
Not really. I'm supposed to look at some of their matches tomorrow, hopefully, and see what they have going on. But I'm really excited for it. It's like the battle to see who gets second seed for A. So I'm excited for it. I'm gonna make sure that we're gonna be prepared for it. We may drop a map because of Classy probably feeding, but oh well.
Always classy feeding. Never like
Always
I feel like it should be like
classy.
Dab or something, or Sleepy.
He's not. He can't. Dab can't even be on the team. He got boosted to GM, so he's on Carnage with me.
Well, we'll get to Carnage. We'll get to Carnage in a second.
Yeah.
But I think we should blame Sleepy instead. I feel like Classy gets too much flack. I feel like Sleepy is the real problem. I'll be honest.
Oh, we all have our problems.
But yeah,
I'll say that we all have our own problems.
So on to Carnage. You guys, great season start off.
Oh yeah.
arguably with another forfeit. Very minimal tape on them. You excited for this game coming in next week against Marsupial team?
I don't know any of the trans tier teams really, so I don't really know what to expect. I'm probably gonna look at them as well a little bit, see how if I should be playing aggressive on Lucio since I do play main support. But yeah, I'm just gonna take every game as I always take it. I play my best, and no matter what, I don't take things easy, and I kind of go out there and dominate whenever I can.
Dominate, is that a play on words per se for domination?
It wasn't supposed to be, but
But yeah, I mean, as a fellow support player, I'm gonna ask you support to support. Why do you hate tanks?
I actually don't.
Oh, okay. Well, why do you hate support DPS?
DPS, because DPS players generally annoying to deal with. They ask for a lot when I can only give them so much. The characters themselves are very obnoxious to go up against, especially Hanzo, and definitely especially Hanzo.
Yeah, Hanzo,
RNG character, tisk.
Yeah, just a log chucker. You know, the Hanzo.
Yeah,
never really get
annoying.
never really get going with that. So now let's take a rewind on this. How originally did you get into Trank?
Well, God, how did we? So Soul Cyberpunks was a team that played in in a league called Resurge Mal. So we played in there, but I think like halfway through the season, our owner, known as Nightwing at the time, I don't know if people remember him, he found Tranquility and it kind of brought us into that, and then we played in Tranquility along with Resurge in season 2 Resurge, and then we got brought in season 6 of Trank. And then since then I kind of like stuck with Trank. Resurge kind of died off a little bit, sadly. So I've been sticking here, competing here. So yeah, it's been great, honestly. It's been fun.
I mean, I remember still Cyberpunks because I remember Reminiscence when I started them. They were in the same pool for stage 2, and then that was not that was a failed experiment. I love all those people, but that did not go well that first season. But Soul Cyberpunks, you guys did pretty well at the end of that season.
We did. It's sad that we all kind of like moved on to different things, but I'm still talking like I think like more than half the players there. So if not everyone actually. So yeah.
I mean, I think one really great thing about Trank is just how people have like come together as a community and stay in touch. Like even after like you like being able to like see like, oh, these people joined the same season as me. Like I was talking about it with Booth before the show. Like, oh, these people joined like in like some generation of like people. Like Booth was in like season 1 when there was a minimal amount of teams, and it kept going forward in that. That was just one really, really big thing that I saw. So from my sources, I also heard that you are part of a band. Is that true? Or
it is true. It is true. I do play band. I play the alto saxophone. I've also dabbled in some percussion in the past. So yeah, it's very fun. I'd say I'm definitely getting better at it. I'd say I would probably sight read within like give me about 2 hours.
Okay, so those were words.
Yeah.
Can you like?
Oh no, you don't know what I was talking about.
I mean, alto saxophone sounds kind of familiar. And sight reading like also does, but maybe like dumb it down for somebody who might not know, like not me, but somebody else.
So sight reading, it's very easy to explain, really. If you're given a piece of music for the first time, and then you look at it, and then you play it for like the first time, basically, that's sight reading. It's basically your first playthrough of like a sheet of music.
So just so like people like Sleepy Bear out there know what it is.
Yeah.
Not me, it's other people. And then alto saxophone. What does that look like?
I don't have mine with me. I left it at school by accident in the locker. So, but how think of it like I actually don't know how to explain it. It's a weird shape. It's like a long snake, kind of, except it's very thick and made of brass and wood.
Okay, so that sounds cool.
I recommend looking it up on Google because I don't know how else to explain it.
I'll look it up. It sounds pretty dope though. So, I mean, let's go to some like other some out of the box questions. I saw this one in the chat. Okay. What's your favorite milkshake flavor?
What's my favorite? Oh, Shamrock Shake. I'm half Irish.
What? I mean, I'm fully Irish, but what does that have to do with the Shamrock Shake? What is in the Shamrock Shake?
It's just I don't know. I like mint flavors. Like I like mint ice cream. I like Shamrock Shakes. I just like I don't know minty stuff. Kind of like I was about to say where that wasn't to say. It kind of it's I just enjoy minty stuff.
I never did. I feel like
I don't
okay.
know.
In the morning, would you rather have like an OJ and like toothpaste type of
No,
combo?
no, no,
Or
no. I,
like
I I actually don't like drinking orange juice at all. So
like these are contradictory statements, but okay. Uh, but I mean, I hope you're enjoying training so far. I'm excited for
am.
Carnage for the rest of the season. Domination looking like two teams that could definitely make a run at like a championship.
Looking
Any
for it.
like final words you want to say? Anything you want to like call out anybody like Classy or Sleepy Bear
I
or like
will make
Sleepy
a
Bear?
call. I will say a statement about Valkyrie. They're not a team to sleep on. They're good.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna
I don't know why people are sleeping on them. Like they beat Domination, so Domination is really bad, and that's kind of good. I'll be surprised if people lose it to Valkyrie. It's like Valkyrie's good. They have good players.
I mean Valkyrie's 3-0. They got two really winnable games against teams that have they beat teams that have played those wow. Whew. Words are tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's Booth, are you ready for this last one? Or I'm having a panic attack over here, man. I need to bail out. So let's throw it back to Booth, and I love the man that he's interviewing, Sariff. There, you can have that. I love Sariff. Sariff lover.
Reloading. Okay, there we go. Sorry, everyone. I had a couple of technical issues tonight, normally that I'm not used to. But here we go. Okay. Gonna get ourselves ready here for our next interview. I'm going to be interviewing Sariff in just a second. Let me just get their screen ready here. One more second. I probably should have had something ready for me to say. Okay. All right. So first off, Sariff, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. On short notice, by the way, Sariff just jumped in to help fill for us. We weren't able to fill our last slot. So first off, thank you for that. We really appreciate it. But Sariff, go ahead and can you explain yourself? Explain yourself. That sounds so so mean. If you want to tell the community about yourself here.
Yeah, so I play for this team. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It's called a SEAL Team Spuds. Very good team with a glitch, Chilean man, last Onema. And yeah, I've been around for a few seasons. I won season 5 Harmony and season 7 Discord.
That's a pretty good resume right there. Not only that, but I do know for a fact that you're probably one of the best main tank players in Tranquility, as we are able to see tonight. Most people didn't know that about you, but now, luckily, we all are able to see it.
I'm just goated on the hoops.
Good on the hoops. So, what's kind of been your history with Overwatch? How did you end up finding the game?
Well, I used to be a very avid TF2 competitive player, playing in UGC. I
Okay.
only did like a steel and iron level stuff, but which is basically like the lower tiers in
Mhm.
UGC. But yeah, I just found Overwatch one day and I decided to buy it and started playing it. I placed golds and just started doing a lot more in the game, finding scrims and everything else, just like I've been with TF2.
Yeah.
And it's just been like a slow burn of development to get to where I am today.
What's been like the closest thing you've seen from your time with TF2 and coming to Overwatch? I mean, obviously the game styles are a little more similar than any other FPS you'll find, but what was something you weren't expecting to be so similar?
One thing that you don't expect to be similar is just how much team play and coordination is needed. Or
Mhm. Mhm.
like so in TF2, the medic class, they have this medigun and it can provide what's called an uber charge. It can either make people immortal for 8 seconds or give them critical hits, which is basically like a lot of damage. It can like instantly one tap classes uh, for 8 seconds as well. So
Wow.
it's important to track around that, to track around your own and theirs, to know when you can push or when to play it safe. And that's pretty similar to how ult tracking works in Overwatch,
Yeah.
especially around key ults like Nanoblades, uh, Deadeye, chatter, etc., or graph.
Yeah, that alt tracking is a tough one, right? That's pretty unless
Yeah.
you're coming from a game that's really ability heavy. Like if you're just coming from an FPS, you're not really seeing that too much.
Yeah.
Totally see where that would come into play.
TF2, it doesn't have like exact abilities per se, but you need to know the capabilities of what class does and what weapon they have equipped. For sure.
Well, that's interesting. I never got to actually play any TF2. It was something I always thought about going back to doing, but I don't even know if it's too late now. I know there's still a pretty thriving community, but it might be a little late
Yeah.
for me to jump in with jump in with no experience. Okay, so a little bit of experience in other games here. Are there any other games that you're pretty into playing right now, or is Overwatch kind of the main focus?
It's mainly Overwatch,
Okay.
and I've also been playing a lot of Star Wars: The Old Republic. I really
Oh,
like I really like
yes.
Star Wars. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Is that your favorite Star Wars game, or which one do you think's your
Uh,
favorite?
I think it's a good call between that one or I'm gonna say the Knights of the Old Republic.
Very good answer. That's a
Yeah,
fantastic answer.
I I love those RPGs.
I was a big Battlefront 2. That was a big one for me.
Oh,
Um,
yes, on the PS2.
of course, on the
I
PS2.
I played that rapidly when I was like 7.
Oh my
It's
god,
amazing.
I played so much of that growing up. I just get in Galactic Conquest and just go for hours on it. Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh.
god. Just
That or I had a the Bounty Hunter game. I don't know if you ever played with that one. The graphics
the
on it were horrendous.
Django?
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was a whole like
Django
little
Fett? Yeah.
yeah, the whole Django one. That was a ton of fun. I think it was just
That
called
was
Bounty Hunter. It was
I
Bounty
think it was. Yeah. It was kind of spooky though, the atmosphere of
Yeah,
that game.
yeah. I never was able to fully get through it, but yeah, that was a wild one. I didn't know much about games at the time, and I remember I was going to go in to trade my old PS2, and I only brought a couple of games with me, and like I called the GameStop guy beforehand, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if these games are that popular. They don't know if they'll sell well." He's like, "Yeah, just bring them in." And I looked back and I found them because I ended up keeping. I was bringing in Kingdom of Hearts 2, Battlefront 2, and I think Star Wars Starfighter is another one I had. And he's like, "Yeah, we'll buy
Oh,
these back."
nice.
So have you been watching or keeping up with? If you're a Star Wars fan, then here I'm going to jump right into this because you caught me
Mm,
on a topic I like. What's been your
yeah.
take with kind of how a lot of the shows have been going in? You know, like it's their turn, I guess, now to get a bunch of the Disney Plus shows.
Oh, I really like it. I really like the expansion, especially upon that era after episode 6.
Yeah, yeah,
That's great. That's a big time, especially with how the dynamic split the sort of like I guess Cold War between the Imperial Remnant and
yeah.
the New Republic.
Hmm.
So it's pretty cool to see.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for Obi now after seeing the
Oh,
trailer.
me too.
Oh,
Oh,
Ewan can't do anything wrong. He definitely can't do anything wrong as as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
no,
So I'm
I
excited.
love,
Oh, he's
I
so
love it. I
great.
can't wait to see how Obi-Wan stacks up against the Inquisitors, though. For
Okay.
sure.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be interesting. I'm excited for all of it. I still have 3 episodes left in this in the Book of Boba Fett, so I need to catch back up this weekend. But all right, let's take a little bit of a detour here, and let's go to something that you've mentioned to me as a hobby that you had. You mentioned that one of your hobbies involves going in with. Sorry, I had the wrong thing pulled up on the side. Singing and performing. So yeah, what have you? What's your history with that?
Yeah, so essentially, I've always done performing and vocal since middle school, and throughout high school, I've competed on speech team,
Hmm.
doing a choral ensemble, which is
Okay.
basically like a group like performance of a musical,
Mhm.
like small snippets of it, and then also doing what's called readers theater, where you have a script of play, and then you also act around the stage with that with minimal props,
Hmm.
and basically it's a lot like relying on yourself to portray everything rather than
Mm.
props.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So
And I
yeah, go ahead.
sorry. No.
Oh, no, please.
Uh uh and I've always gotten pretty much one state on all my performances with them.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So I'm gonna guess you're a pretty big fan of just voice acting or anything involving this in the total. So when you think of video games, what's the biggest mistake you see with a lot of these RPGs when it comes to voice acting? Where are they getting things wrong?
That's a tricky one. To To me, voice acting is weird when it feels like the emotion is out of place, or it's based a lot on stereotypes, I suppose.
Mm.
Like, if it's made for more a comedic effect, maybe a more stereotypical Russian voice would be suitable for that, but maybe not for something serious. Like, it depends on the tone, I guess. I'm not the best analyzer of that stuff, though.
Yeah, I always think back to some of the games where it almost feels a little robotic sometimes. So just somebody just kind of like talked into a mic for a little bit, read off a script, and I think a lot of the times good voice acting kind of just gets covered up by poor script or poor story a little bit, and they don't get a chance to really shine through too much. But what's something then? I know there's been a lot of not only reskinning in terms of graphics, but in terms of audio as well for Overwatch 2. Is there any changes that you're really excited for, especially maybe in more of like the music or audio realm?
Um, I can't wait to hear if like the guns of Overwatch 2 will sound bassier.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah,
especially things like a Kree Peacemaker or Widow,
yeah.
or Widow's Rifle, make it sound like booming.
I for
I am really heavy on bass.
Yeah. I'm really just from the soldier sounds for the Helix rifle, I'm really happy with the change on that. And I think I remember hearing the Widowmaker. It definitely sounded they're going more of a realistic sound. I hope they add some more bass into that as well. It's such
Yeah.
a live game. I'm hoping that they continue through across all fronts
Mm,
with their
yeah,
changes.
and I hope that gunshots and even footsteps sometimes are a little bit more noticeable too.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. It's such an important audio is so big in this game. Sometimes not really thought about, and I don't think you really notice it until you really are on a good setup for it, or start like trying to notice it. Because like you might hear a footstep every now and then, but there's a lot you can gain game sense wise by picking up on some of the audio cues.
Oh yeah, one good example is Valorant.
Mm, mm,
Like with a good headset and good audio settings, like you can hear exactly where someone is
yeah.
to your left or to your right. It's a pretty well done audio setup.
That it is. Well, Sariff, thank you so much for filling in with us tonight. We really appreciate your help. It was great to get to sit down and
Yeah,
talk with you. Sure, we could have gone on. I had to pull us away from the Star Wars talk, or we would have been here all,
yeah.
all
No,
day.
I got
We had to
you're
cut
going
a little.
on.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here. And thank you to everybody for tuning in to the Beat Drop today. Really appreciate everybody sticking around with us after a great featured match tonight. Congratulations again, Sarah, for the victory. But make sure everybody's tuning in next week. We have a couple of feature matches across all our tiers. We're going to have Feeders United versus Thunderbolt Rewind in the EU in their Harmony tier. That should be Tuesday at 2:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central Standard Time. And then we have on Tuesday, we're going to have the Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies going against the Big Bang Buccaneers. That's going to be a pretty exciting one. And then we're going to follow up on Wednesday with a 9:30 time. We do a 30-minute delay on those matches, as well as push back the match time 30 minutes so that you, the community, can tune in and catch our Transcendence tier matches. We're going to be showing Carnage versus the Billings Boomers, two very highly anticipated teams, or anticipated, but definitely high on the rankings, some favorites to say the least. And then we're going to finish up the week with the Quokka Queens versus the Cosmic Castaways, another two very strong teams, some very loaded matches. And then, of course, we also still have the Beat Drop coming back on Thursday. Mr. Yeti will be here with Sariff, actually. I didn't realize you were going to be our interviewer next week, so you got a little bit of an early taste. And then, of course, Predicting Tranquility on Monday. That's going to have, I believe, NRFT and Navino joined with Bowsy. And before that, of course, is going to be the Iris podcast with Mr. Yeti, Navino, and BethCon. So that's our lineup here. Lots of good content coming up. You're not going to want to miss any of it. But tonight, for all of our interviewees, for Sariff, for Gusty, for BubbaWyatt, and for Cyme, and then my co-host Capital, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you guys next time.
I want the shit.
Here.
I'm double jointed.
We're still here. He's doing the thumb
Hold
thing.
on.
Okay.
I'm double jointed.
Oh, he had to show off the double joint. All right, that's it. We cut it now.